When you're staring at a rack of budget espresso kits and wondering if you're about to sign up for a lifetime of weak crema and grinding headaches, the fear of buyer's remorse is real. I've been there, buying a cheap machine, only to discover the brew temperature swings like a roller coaster and the grinder spits out a dusty mess. That's why I wanted to see if stepping up to a Rancilio Silvia paired with the Eureka Mignon Notte could actually feel like a smarter, less regretful investment. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The first thing I did before hitting record was read through a handful of forum threads and watch a couple of homebrew videos where people actually use the Silvia day in, day out. The consensus is simple. This machine has been a workhorse for more than 2 decades, but it's not a plug-and-play instant latte solution. It demands a little patience and a willingness to learn the rhythm of a single boiler. The Notte, on the other hand, is praised for its whisper-quiet motor and the ability to dial in a grind that sits just right for a 18-gram double shot. Together, they promise a boutique-level espresso experience without the price tag of a commercial line. Who should consider this bundle? If you're a home barista who already knows the basics, you can pull a shot, you understand tamping pressure, and you have a bit of countertop real estate to spare, then the Silvia plus Notte combo is worth the extra effort. It shines for people who love the ritual, heating the boiler, grinding beans by hand, and timing the shot like a small-scale lab experiment. It also makes sense for anyone who's tired of disposable pods and wants to finally taste the difference that freshly ground beans can make. Who should skip it? If you're looking for a one-button coffee solution, or you have a tiny kitchen where a 12-ounce brass boiler feels like a monolith, the bundle may feel heavy both literally and figuratively. The Silvia's single boiler design means you can't steam milk and brew at the same exact moment. You have to wait for the boiler to heat up after pulling a shot if you want foam. That pause can be a deal-breaker for lattice-centric crowds who crave back-to-back drinks. Also, the Notte's manual dosing means you won't get the convenience of an electronic dispenser. You'll be pressing the portafilter each time, which is fine if you enjoy that tactile involvement, but frustrating if you want a set-and-forget workflow. Let's talk about the real-world strengths. The Silvia's brass boiler, while modest in size, retains heat exceptionally well once it's up to temperature. In my kitchen tests, after a short warm-up period of about 8 minutes, the temperature stayed steady for a full half-hour of pulling shots, which is more than enough for a typical morning run. Because the boiler serves both brewing and steaming, you get consistent temperature stability across both functions, just not simultaneously. The machine also feels surprisingly solid. The metal body doesn't wobble when you swing the portafilter, and the commercial-grade group head locks into place with that satisfying click you hear on higher-end models. The Notte's biggest practical win is its stepless grind adjustment. Instead of jumping between preset settings, you can turn the knob a fraction of a turn and feel an immediate change in the particle size. When I moved from a light roast to a darker, more oily bean, that fine-tuned control let me keep the dose at 18 grams while preserving a balanced extraction. The shot had a clean, sweet edge instead of turning bitter in under a second. The grinder's 50mm burrs also run at a low RPM, which translates to less heat transfer to the beans. The result? Your coffee's aromatics stay intact, especially important if you're grinding single-origin beans that have delicate flavor notes. Now, the hidden trade-offs. Because the Silvia is a single boiler unit, you'll need to juggle the temperature switch. The machine has a built-in thermostat that flashes when it's ready, but there's no PID controller to hold the temperature to the exact degree. In practice, you may notice a slight temperature dip after you steam milk, meaning your second shot could be a shade cooler. Some users mitigate this by letting the machine sit for a minute after steaming, but that adds a small time cost. The Notte's manual dosing also introduces a learning curve. You have to develop a feel for how many turns of the lever correspond to your target dose, which can vary with bean density. Unlike a digital grinder that tells you the exact gram amount, you're relying on consistency in the hand motion, so it takes a few days of practice to hit the same number each time. Another practical consideration is maintenance. The Silvia's brass boiler eventually develops mineral buildup if you have hard water, so you'll need to decale periodically. It's not a nightmare. A simple citric acid soak does the trick, but it's an extra step that casual users sometimes overlook. The Notte's burrs are sealed, which reduces the need for frequent cleaning, yet the chute can collect.